Everyone, hi once again, welcome back. In this session, I want to explain about the QML UI component button once again. But along with that, I will be explaining about another UI component, that is text. So, two UI components I will be dealing with in today's session, with slightly similar to my previous video where I had used the button. So let's begin with this session. As you can see, I have created a QD quick new project, and the name of the project on the left, you can see it's QML button 3. Okay, and by default, there is a window set with width of 640 pixels, height with 480 pixels, and the visibility is true, which means once executed, when executed, the window main container window will appear over the screen. Okay, that's the visibility. And then title, they have, it's by default hello world. I will change it to QML button application 3, because this is my third video on the button, QML button. And then QD quick library is imported. That allows us to access all the QML features like properties, animations, and so on. So now we shall see, run this code. Okay, this is the main container window. This is the window what we have right now, and I want to add a button to it. So let's start. So how do we add a button? Before using the button, the import qd quick.controls is must. Okay, that's the library. qd quick, the second one. Okay, done. Now I can access this button component. The ID, I want to provide it as button 1, and then it's not a plain button text, it will obviously contain some text, say off. Okay, and then I want to set some width and height for this button. So width would be 200 pixels, and then height would be 150 pixels. Okay, done. Okay, now so width and height is set, and it shows some text, say off. Okay, and now what about the color for this button? I had shown you in my previous session how to apply the background color using the background property. We will use the same here. Background, this is okay, one second. Background, and then rectangle. Okay, so color of this background rectangle will be initially gray, and then I want the corners to be rounded, so I'm using this radius. I'm setting it for 6. Done. Okay, I also want to apply border for this button, which I had not done in my previous video. Now let's see how to apply border. So use this border property, border dot color, and the color of the border, I want it to be black. Then border, what should be the thickness? So we shall decide. Border width should be 3 pixels. Okay, done. Save it. So let's see the output. Okay, there is the button, and I have applied the border, black border, and the rounded corners, and then there is a text bar saying off. So I want to position this button to the center of its parent window. So we will be using the anchors for positioning. Okay, what is this? Anchors center into the parent. Okay, so now it's at the center. Run it again. Okay, it's at the center, right? Now I want to customize this text off. It's a black in color. I want to apply white. I want the to apply some boldness. I want to increase the font size, so let's do it. So here we have the text. So in my previous video I had shown how to use this font pixel size, so we will be using the same to set the size of for the font, and also as well to apply the boldness. Okay, make it true. Okay, done. What about the color? Do we have it? Color. Okay, color, do we have it? No. So here you can see color is not a member of Q font. So for that reason, I'll be using a content item. So I'll show you how to use the content item here. So within this button, content item, and then item. Okay. So for the text, okay, content item and then text. So the text will be same as the button one's text. Okay. So here instead of applying the font directly for the text, we will cut it and put it inside the content item. So this should work. So color, instead of font dot color, we can directly use the color property, and then we can set the color to white. So done. This is how we do. So save it. So why did I use the content item here? Because color I cannot apply directly to this text. Yeah, we don't have that within Q font. So I'm using the content item. Let's run this code. I want to see whether it is applied correctly. Yeah, the pixel size for the font pixel size is increased, and then color is also set to white, and boldness is done. But what about the positioning of the text? The positioning of the text should be at the center of this button, right? So let's do that. For that we have to use, okay, uh, okay, for that we have to use horizontal alignment, and then we will say text dot align vertical alignment. Okay, we will choose this horizontal center. Similarly for vertical alignment, what shall we do? Same way, text dot align, where is it? Vertical center. Okay, yes, this is the one. So hope it is aligned. Check the position now, run the code. Yeah, the text is now visible at the center. So now the button should be clickable. So if I click, the gray should turn to green and the off should turn to on. So we had seen it in my previous session. So we will use the same logic here. So text is, so instead of directly displaying the text as off, before that we will have a boolean variable property. Okay, so the type will be obviously boolean, and the name will be is the button on. Okay, what should be the initial value? Will be false. So done. So now I will be using this boolean variable is on. Instead of directly setting this text as off, we will check this boolean variable. If it is on, then the text should be on, obviously. If it is off, the text should be off, obviously. So similar way, the color for this button should also, so I will use the boolean variable of button is on, and then check it. If it is on, then the color should be green, and if it is off, the color should be gray. Done. So now we shall check. I have not okay, it's not clickable. I have not defined the on clicked, right? So button has the clicked signal. So what should be done when the button is clicked? So we have the boolean variable already, so it has to be toggled. So use the not operator. Now it's done. So run the code again. Yeah, now the button should detect the click. Off. Yeah, color is changed to green. On, off, color changes to go between green and gray, right? Yes, when it is on, green color. When it is off, gray color. So fine with it. So this is about the UI component button, which is almost similar to my previous video. But along with this, I told you I will be using a text UI component. We shall see how to add a text UI component on the top of this button, right? So text is also as well is also an UI component. Once the button UI component closes its braces, next you can start with the text. Okay, so here name of this text component will be txt1, and then I will be showing system is on. So instead of directly showing this, I will be using the button once boolean variable is on. Check it. If it is on, the system is on. If it is off, the system should be off. So this is the text what I want to display. So now positioning, right? Now before positioning, let's use the same font dot pixel size for setting the font size, and then font dot I want it to apply bold, appear bold. Okay, sorry, boldness should be true. Done, right? Now comes to the positioning part. So as you can see, if I run this code, if I run this code, when the button is clicked, yeah, the text component as well toggles. When the button is clicked, you can see the text is toggling here. System is off, system is on, system is off, system is on. So everything is fine except this positioning of this text component. So we shall see we have to use the anchors because it is a component. Okay, horizontal center should be parent. Okay, parent dot horizontal center. Done. So what about horizontally? It is the center of the main window, but what about the vertically, what vertical position? So it should be above the button. So use the anchors dot the bottom of this, the bottom of this component should be above the button top, right? Top of the button. How many pixels? So that should be decided as well. Anchors dot bottom margin goes 30 pixels above the button, right? Save it. So now run this code. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show to you all in this session. The above you can see the text UI component, and the below is the button UI component. So when the button is clicked, turns on, the text as well the text toggles as well. System is on, system is off. The color is changed, green to gray, gray to green. Okay, fine. Now, these are the two UI components I wanted to show in this session. So, thank you all. Hoping for the next upcoming videos. Thank you.